Hello, welcome to Snooker Pro Tips. This is a clip I've been asked for by a player named Chris. Hello Chris, I think your full name is Chris Pedersen, and what he's basically asked me to try and explain is the roll-up shot. It's quite a common shot in snooker. You've sort of potted along red, you've finished behind the baulk line, colours are on the spots, and rolling up to a colour to obviously lay a snooker for your opponent when he comes to the table. The difficulty with this shot actually is that most players will drop the white short. They're frightened of probably just knocking the coloured ball too far, and so eventually what happens is, because they're frightened to hit it too far, then normally what happens is then you drop the white short. So obviously if you drop the white short, you've now snookered yourself and your opponent either has a free ball or he puts you back in. So now just a rough little explanation on how this shot actually works. I'm playing on a super fine cloth here, so it is difficult to actually judge this shot absolutely spot on all the time. If you're playing on a club table, then the table there, with it being maybe a little bit slower, cloth a little bit heavy, it'll do you a lot more favours than it will on one of these super fine cloths. So to start with, the important thing to start with is don't sort of take your normal bridge, stance, all the rest of it. The difficulty of it is you don't want to be pulling the cue back too far. So what we don't actually do is, with this shot in particular, is shorten the cue. So there is a clip on my channel, Snooker Pro Tips. I think it's Snooker Pro Tips number 16, which explains shortening the cue. Some players from around the world will sort of call it choking up the cue, which is obviously, in sort of snooker terms, it's shortening the cue. But for those who don't know what I mean by shortening the cue, it's choking up on the cue a little bit. So as you can see now, I've choked up on the cue, I've shortened the cue. So now, obviously, I want to drop the white behind the yellow ball. Now, what I'm actually trying to do is I'm not sort of conscious of the speed. What all I'm trying to do is just knock the yellow ball, say just a quarter of a roll forward. So I'm actually aiming at the yellow ball. I'm not actually worried about the white. I'm actually aiming at the yellow ball. So, and instead of getting down on the cue, I'm also standing up off the cue, sort of similar to the way a 9-ball player might play it, because this way I can actually judge the distance a little bit better. So as you can see here now, I've just shortened up the cue, and all I'm going to try and do is just move the yellow just fractionally forwards. And you can see there, I've just moved the yellow just fractionally forwards, so I'm not actually too worried about the white. I'm actually aiming for a ball. I'm not sort of worried about the pace of the white. So now obviously this is something that you can practice, where you just that fraction away, just take the cue back, and just a little gentle push forward, and you're just trying to just nudge that yellow forward just that little bit. So now obviously as you get a little bit better at it, now what you can start doing now is just bringing the cue ball back just that little bit further. The only danger is with this on a club table as compared to a match table like what this is that with a club table the white is liable to bend away. It's liable to pull in the nap of the cloth in the distance it's travelling. I can't do anything about that. There's no sort of law where you can sort of judge for it. All you can do is try your best. So again, you're just that little bit further away, you still choke up on the cue just that little bit and shorten it. And just a little roll forward. You can see there, I've just nudged that a little bit too far, but I have made contact and I am covering the ways out. So again, it just comes back, and again, shorten the cue up. And remember, you're just trying to nudge the yellow forward, just that little fraction, and you can see there now, I am making contact. And again, once it is, you're sort of comfortable with that sort of distance, you move the white a little bit further, and you carry on just doing exactly the same. You see there, just rolling turn, and just dropping it behind there. And so on, and you go further and further back. The difficult one is from the cushion. And again, I'm not going to promise anything from the cushion because this is a difficult one. And you're just trying to just darling up to the yellow. And you see there, even on this table, that one's just pulled off just that little bit. And the one from the cushion is the hardest one of all. So I'm not going to keep going, having a go. I think you've got the gist of the actual clip now, and that's just the simple way there of just dropping behind one of the bolt colours. So just to recap, we shorten the cue, or choke up on the cue, so we get the bridge a little bit closer, and then what we're actually trying to do is make sure we contact the yellow. We're not worried about it going too far. All we try and do is just to roll the yellow just that little fraction forward. There. And obviously the closer we are to the yellow, the more easy it is to actually play the shot. Obviously the further away it comes, then it's a lot more difficult to actually play that shot. And actually in match play terms, more than likely a player wouldn't try and roll up from there. What he would more likely do is try to play off one of the bolt colours and try and get the white back to the back cushion. And the reason is that because for better players out there, the professional players, the better standard amateur players, even from there, most of the time he's got an easy escape out, whether he's dropping on the pack or whether he's playing for a single red on the cushion. Good players can do that. So sometimes a player will not play a roll up from the back cushion. He will play off one of the bolt colours and try and get the white back to the back cushion and behind either the green, the brown or the yellow. But for Chris, I'll thank you for asking the question. I know the clip's been a long time coming. I've been working my way around to it. I hope that explains how to play the roll-up shot. And to all the other players out there who watch me on YouTube and watch all the clips, thank you very much for watching. Again, if you've got any questions, any comments, get in touch. I've got no problem. I'll answer any questions, comments you've got. And I'd like to thank everybody who watches Snooker Pro Tips. If this is the first time you watch Snooker Pro Tips, try and watch all the other clips. I'm sure there's something in there that'll help you out at some point. And again, don't be frightened to get in touch. Whether you're just starting out, whether you're a lady player even, whether you're somebody who's just been playing the game for quite some time and still needs some advice, please don't hesitate to get in touch. It's been Snooker Pro Tips. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you.